Good evening, everybody. My name's Kathleen Rogers, and I'm president of Earth Day Network. Thank you. Welcome to Earth Day Network's annual Climate Leadership Gala. Each year we honor one of the world's most important leaders with our Climate Visionary Award. Past winners have included Elon Musk and Richard Branson, many other people, and this year we are honoring Paul Pullman, the CEO of Unilever and one of the world's most important climate voices. We are also presenting an award called Women in the Green Economy Leadership Award, and this year we're honoring DC's beloved Nora Poulion. We look forward to a great evening. Before we begin, I have the actual great honor of thanking people who've made both this event, Earth Day, and the March for Science, which Earth Day Network ran, a success. The first person I'd love to thank is Susan Bass. I don't know where you are. She really did make this event possible, along with Kathy Stoddard, who could not be here, and Sloan Hurst. I don't know where you are, but thank you. I'd also like to thank our sponsors, starting with Toyota, which has been a terrific partner for many, many years. Earth Day Network helped launch the Prius back then, and over the intervening years, we have been actively working with them to promote global adoption of green technology, one of Earth Day Network's most important missions. I'd particularly like to thank Jerry Yoza, who is here, who is Senior Manager of the Mirai. She has been a true partner, interested in Earth Day Network's success, as well as Toyota's. Toyota is not just committed to achieving breakthroughs in technology with the Mirai and other cars and many other things, but they're also committed to sharing those technologies with the rest of the world, and for that I really commend them. I'd also like to thank Hewlett-Packard and Earth Day Network board member Nate Hurst, who's HP's Chief of Sustainability, for his and their continued support. And thanks also to NRG for supporting the STEM students here from Walt Whitman High School, and from two programs of the Latin American Youth Council, Career Academy, and River Corps. Really great to have all of you young people here. And I want to recognize Lucia Grena, who is not here tonight, but many of the people from the World Bank are, who runs Connect for Climate at the World Bank. In my view, she and her staff have almost single-handedly brought climate change messaging, art, and film to millions of people worldwide, and we are grateful and very happy to be working with the World Bank. And I'd also like to welcome the people from the French Embassy. We could not be more pleased with the outcome of the election, personally, and congratulations. Where are you? Really, thank you. Earth Day Network is in the movement building business, and it's been an extraordinary first 4 months of 2017. We've just finished organizing Earth Day Worldwide and the March for Science in DC, and related Earth Day and March for Science events around the world. I can't believe we're still standing. More than 1 billion people took action on Earth Day. And the March for Science, as you know, took off in a similar fashion to what we're seeing happening across the U.S. and now expanding to other countries. A handful of science supporters posted something online, and momentum began to build. Because our theme was climate and environmental literacy, we saw synergies, and we took on this project in late January. We organized this event in just a few months, and it was a huge success. And we would not have been able to do it without two people who were in this room and another who isn't here, but let me first single out Peter Shapiro. He has been called a reincarnation of the best producers in music of the 60s and 70s. Forbes magazine raved about him last year. He's the owner of Brooklyn Bowl, which is now global. And Peter, where are you? He is truly a great, great leader in the music business. Is he here? All right. There he is. Shouldn't be in the back of the room. He actually did the whole Grateful Dead tour, which was amazing. And I'd also like to thank John Dindis, who could not be here, but who ran the operation for us and held my hand and made a leap of faith with us that we could actually pull off this global event. And finally, Mark Scarpa, I'm not sure where you are, back with Peter probably, deserves great recognition for his work on the content for building great bridges and introducing us to the very, very cool cutting-edge world of social media. He's amazing. Just a few days after Earth Day, I headed to Rome, and I've just returned from the Vatican, my 4th or 5th trip to the Holy See. The Pope is very enthusiastic about Earth Day. He drove himself to one of our events last year, and he tweets and gives sermons about Earth Day every year. He also cares deeply about the impacts of climate on the poor. This time I went at the invitation of the Vatican to work on a new climate challenge with Ahmad Ashkar, a serial business and social entrepreneur. Each year, as the head of the Holt Prize, he and his judges select one of 50,000 social business proposals for $1 million award. I've been a judge a few times, and I believe Ahmad would agree I'm the best judge he's ever had. Is that correct? You cannot imagine how much fun it is to give away $1 million. It is really fun. And Ahmad put together, and Eric Carr brought together over 50 venture capital and social investors to put together a climate challenge to solve some of the toughest components of the climate disaster. We're focusing on technology to support migrants who are already fleeing the impacts of climate. I'd like to recognize Ahmad for bringing together investors, philanthropists to help this crisis, and for all the work he does for the poor and the disadvantaged. Ahmad? And as Earth Day moves on to 2020, we invite you all to participate. That will be our 50th anniversary. We'd love to have you all engaged. We hope it'll be a pivot moment in history, just like the first Earth Day was. And I think you would all agree, we live in a troubled time, both with respect to climate change and our leadership. The world, or most of it, is simply incredulous of what's going on in the United States. But at this moment, I'm in the room with 300 optimists. We would not be here if we weren't. The human soul was graced with the virtue of optimism. Optimists are born to dream, to take risks, to challenge the status quo. We are more altruistic, more resilient, and less likely to quit. We reject the status quo, we reject cynicism, we reject fate. That's why we are all here today. We are optimists. And like Earth Day Network, you are all in your own ways seeking and accomplishing great things in the movement building business. We all seek to stir the world to greatness. I'd like to thank you all for your optimism, for being here, and we look forward to a great evening. Thank you. Now I'd like to introduce Kathleen Matthews. Kathleen is well known as well, and she's a TV journalist and political activist, and she will be our MC tonight. She is possibly the nicest and easiest person I have ever worked with. Kathleen, welcome, and thank you so much for your great work.